Do you feel like you're always cleaning, but your home never really feels tidy? Like everything looks fine on the surface, but open any drawer or cupboard and it's a total mess. You're not the only one. I've been there too. I know exactly what it feels like to hold everything together just enough to look fine while secretly feeling overwhelmed by the clutter you've shoved out of sight. And over time, that quiet chaos starts to wear you down, mentally and emotionally. The truth is, it's not that you're doing it wrong. It's that most of us were never taught a realistic, sustainable way to keep our homes and our minds clear. So in this video, I'm sharing the simple decluttering method I've been using to reset my space and my head. It's honest, it's doable, and it's not about perfection, it's about relief. We'll go step by step how I set my mindset, how I break it down, room by room, and even how I handle sentimental stuff I struggle to let go of. By the end, my hope is that you'll feel lighter, more in control, and like you're finally starting the next chapter of your life without dragging old clutter along with you. So let's not waste any more time. Let's begin. Now we start with step 1, set the mood so you'll actually want to start. Let's be real, decluttering isn't fun. It's not cute, it's not relaxing, it's usually messy, tiring, and a little annoying. So instead of waiting for motivation to magically appear, set yourself up to make it feel less awful. You don't need a big Pinterest moment. Just pick a few small things to make the process a bit more bearable or even enjoyable. Here's what I do. Wear something comfy that still makes me feel like I've shown up for myself. Put on an audiobook or podcast I actually enjoy, not just background noise. Make a little drink, a mocktail, iced coffee, whatever feels like a reward. Plan a few built-in breaks, especially if you know you'll hit a mental wall. And remind myself I don't need to finish everything today. I also like to pick a playlist or scent that's linked to resetting in my brain. It kind of signals, okay, we're doing this now, even if I'd rather scroll my phone. And if you're like me and tend to overcommit, here's a tip. Only start with one drawer, one shelf, or one small section at a time. That way, if life gets in the way and you have to stop, you won't be stuck living in a mess for 3 days. The goal isn't to finish fast. The goal is to start in a way that doesn't burn you out. So make it a little nicer for yourself. You're doing something good here. Now let's move on to the next step. The next step is picture the version of you you're moving toward. Before you start emptying drawers or tearing into closets, take a minute to pause, because this isn't just about clearing out stuff. It's about making space for the life you actually want to live. Ask yourself, how do I want to feel when I walk into my kitchen? What kind of clothes do I want to see in my closet? What kind of day-to-day routines do I want to make easier? You don't need to overthink this. You can jot a few notes in your phone scribble in a journal, or just sit quietly and picture a version of you who feels more clear, more in control, and less weighed down. Then as you go through your stuff, use that vision to guide you. Hold something up and ask, does this still fit the way I want to live? Is this part of the next chapter of my life? Or am I holding on to it just because it's always been there? It's not about being ruthless or getting rid of everything. It's about choosing what actually supports your life now, not who you were 5 years ago. Some people call this kind of reset a death clean. I know, dramatic, but really it just means sorting through things with fresh eyes and letting go of what doesn't need to come with you anymore. And honestly, thinking about it like that helps. It makes it easier to stop holding on to things out of guilt or habit. You're not throwing your whole life away, you're just clearing a path forward. And if you want to know more about cleaning, my next video is for you. It's simple, it's practical, and maybe that's the motivation you need. Subscribe so you don't miss it. When you're ready, I'll see you there. Let's get back to today's content. Step 3 is break it down, areas and supplies. And now that your mindset's in place and you've set the tone, let's talk about how to break this down so it doesn't get overwhelming. Here's how I structure it. First, divide by space. I made a simple checklist of every area I wanted to tackle. For me, that included kitchen, bathroom, closet and bedroom, living room, office or workspace, pantry or storage areas, and yes, even my digital life phone. Laptop online clutter. This way I can see the full picture, but only focus on one space at a time. Then gather your declutter kit. You don't need anything fancy, just a thing to separate items into categories as you go. I like to use boxes or bags labeled a box donate, items in good condition someone else could use, a box sell, if you have the time energy for it, a box seasonal, things you want to keep but don't need right now, a box recycled trash, the obvious stuff, a box undecided. This one helps avoid getting stuck. Set it aside and revisit later with fresh eyes. Having these categories ready ahead of time makes decisions way easier. You're not just tossing things in a random pile. Also, keep some basic cleaning supplies nearby. Once you clear a space out, take a second to wipe it down. It's way more satisfying to put things back into a clean drawer or shelf. The most important thing, be realistic about your energy and your space. Don't try to do 7 areas in one weekend if your life's already full. This isn't a sprint, it's a reset. You don't have to do it all, you just have to do the next thing. The last step is tackle each space without overwhelm. Here's the method I use for every space, whether it's a kitchen drawer or a whole closet. It's simple, repeatable, and keeps things from spiraling into chaos. 1, take everything out. Yes, everything. No, just rearranging. Pull it all out so you can actually see what you have. That's how you stop lying to yourself about what's organized. 2, clean the space. Wipe it down, vacuum the crumbs, whatever it needs. This helps mentally reset the area so it feels fresh before you put anything back. 3, sort into categories. Use the boxes or bins you set up earlier. Donate, sell, trash, seasonal, undecided. Don't overthink it. Go with your gut. If you hesitate, put it in undecided and come back later. 4, give everything a proper home. This step is crucial. If something doesn't have a set place to live, it will always end up as clutter. Ask yourself, where would I naturally look for this? Can I actually access it easily when I need it? Am I keeping this just because I don't know where else it goes? If your answer is vague or uncertain, throw it away or put it in a temporary bin. If you don't remember it in a month, let it go. And you also don't need fancy bins or matching labels unless that brings you joy. The goal isn't to make it Instagram worthy. The goal is to make it make sense for you. Bonus tip, only do one section at a time, one drawer, one shelf, one pile. That way, if you run out of time or energy, you're not stuck with everything spread out and nowhere to sleep. This step is where the real shift happens. You'll probably find yourself asking, why did I even keep this? And that's good. You're noticing things you used to ignore. That's progress. So, we have finished 4 simple steps to help your house become tidier. Don't leave yet. Now let's move on to 3 little tips that I have collected during my house cleaning process. I guarantee you will need them because they have helped me a lot. Let's get started. Tip number 1 is souvenirs. There are items that no longer work, no longer fit, but every time we move them, our hands hesitate. A shirt that no longer fits, but you used to wear it on an important occasion. A cup with a chipped rim, but it was a gift from an ex. A pair of torn shoes, but associated with a period in our lives. We don't keep those things because they still have value. We keep them because they are memories, because throwing them away feels like we're rejecting a part of ourselves or rejecting someone who was once very important. And that's true. Those items once had meaning, once helped us feel loved, confident, strong, and remembered. But if we're honest, most of those items no longer serve our current life. They're just there taking up space. Every time we see them, we feel confused, guilty, and even feel heartless if we throw them away. So I want to share a way that has helped me a lot. Instead of keeping the whole thing, keep a small part of it and save it in a junk journal. My real example, I used to have a pair of boots. I wore them all the time. I worked at the bar, very tiring, very sweaty, but also very proud days. I loved those shoes as a symbol, but after many years, they were torn beyond repair. I couldn't wear them, but I couldn't throw them away. And I did this. I cut a small piece of leather from the shoe, wrote a few lines. Summer 2017 night shifts, exhausted, but still felt good. Then I stuck it in a journal. And you know what? I felt lighter because I still kept that memory, but it was no longer an old pair of shoes taking up a corner of the closet, making me feel guilty every time I cleaned it. When you keep a small part, plus write down why it's important, you put your feelings in a safe and intentional place. They're no longer lying around, no longer being avoided. They're honored, but no longer in your way. This doesn't mean you forget or let go of the past. It just helps you sort through what's truly worth keeping and gently move on to the present. Now, let's move on to the next tip. Now we come to tip 2. Don't try to do it all in one day. One of the biggest mistakes people make with decluttering, and I've done it too, is thinking it all has to be done in one big push. The truth is that's the fastest way to burn out and give up halfway. Instead of expecting yourself to power through your whole home in a day shift, your strategy? Use the small moments you already have to clear small spaces, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. For example, while folding towels, you notice a messy drawer, clear a few items. While digging for tape in a junk drawer, you spot old tangled cords, toss what doesn't work. Waiting for water to boil. Quickly sort your spice shelf. These in-between moments add up fast, and more importantly, they don't feel overwhelming. You're not blocking out hours or overloading your energy. You're simply clearing space bit by bit. I also made a checklist of every area I wanted to declutter. At first, I thought I'd do it all in 7 days, 1 area per day. But that plan didn't survive real life. I have a job. I have other responsibilities. I don't have entire afternoons to spare. So I switched to a 30-day plan, no pressure. Just check off one small thing each day, even if it's just one drawer that still counts. And you know what? I made more progress that way. I didn't feel stuck. I didn't burn out. The gentler pace actually helped me stay consistent, and that's what makes the real difference. Now let's move on to the next tip. The next tip is declutter after you've been away from home. One of the best times to declutter, surprisingly, is right after you come back from a trip or even just a few days away from home. Here's why: when you've been living out of a suitcase, you get a weird kind of clarity. You realize how little you actually needed and how fine you felt without all the extras. You didn't need that random kitchen gadget. You didn't miss the 3rd moisturizer on your shelf. You didn't even remember that just-in-case outfit. When you return, your house will feel fuller, sometimes too full, compared to the simpler, lighter setup you had while away. And that contrast, it's powerful. It helps you spot the stuff that's just noise. So instead of unpacking and going straight back into autopilot, take a moment. Use that post-trip clarity to look around your home with fresh eyes. Ask yourself, did I miss this while I was gone? Would I have packed this if I had to take it with me? Is this item making my life easier or just taking up space? This doesn't mean you need to become a minimalist, but it does mean you can use those moments when your everyday environment gets a little distance to reset with more intention. It's one of the easiest, most natural mindset shifts you can tap into. Now let's move on to the next tip. The next tip is create a temporary sorting zone. When you start decluttering, one of the hardest parts is feeling overwhelmed by the mess everywhere. It's easy to look at the piles of stuff and feel like you'll never get through it all. But here's a simple trick to make it easier and less stressful. Create a temporary sorting zone. How to do it? Instead of trying to organize everything at once, choose one small area of your home to set up a temporary sorting zone. This could be a table, a corner of a room, or even a large basket where you temporarily place items that you haven't decided what to do with yet. These could be things that aren't quite trash but need to be sorted, or items that need to be dealt with later. Why is this effective? First, reduce the feeling of chaos. By gathering everything into one spot, you no longer have to deal with clutter scattered around your space. It helps keep things organized and allows you to focus on one task at a time without being overwhelmed by everything at once. Second, helps you take small steps. Instead of trying to tackle everything all at once, you can break it down into manageable chunks. Once you've finished a small area, you can return to the temporary sorting zone and decide what to do with the rest. This makes the process feel less exhausting and more achievable. Finally, improves focus. When you know everything is contained in one place, you don't have to worry about running around trying to find stuff. You can stay focused on one task and avoid getting distracted by all the clutter. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, don't panic. Set up a temporary sorting zone. Gather the items there and take it one step at a time. You'll be amazed at how much easier it is to make progress with just this simple trick. Now let's move on to the last tip. The last tip is use the 20-minute rule. One of the biggest mistakes people make when decluttering is trying to do it all in one go. The truth is, setting aside hours for a big cleaning session can lead to burnout and frustration, causing you to give up before you finish. Instead, try using the 20-minute rule to make the process less overwhelming. How to do it. Set a timer for just 20 minutes and focus on decluttering only for that short period of time. When the timer goes off, you can choose to stop, or if you feel like it, set another timer for 20 more minutes. This keeps you from feeling pressured to spend hours cleaning and helps you build momentum without overdoing it. Why is this effective? First, prevents burnout. By limiting yourself to just 20 minutes, you avoid the feeling of exhaustion that comes with marathon cleaning sessions. It's short enough that you won't dread starting, but long enough to make noticeable progress. Second, boosts consistency. Small, regular bursts of decluttering add up over time. Instead of overwhelming yourself with an entire weekend of cleaning, breaking it down into manageable sessions keeps you on track and consistent. Finally, it makes it easier to start knowing you only have to commit to 20 minutes. Makes it easier to get started. Often the hardest part is just getting into the process, but once you begin, you'll find it's easier to keep going. So next time you're feeling overwhelmed by clutter, remember 20 minutes is all it takes to start. Set your timer focus on one area and see how much you can accomplish in just a short amount of time. You'll be surprised how much you can get done. You don't have to declutter your whole home in a day. You don't need to turn your space into a minimalist showroom. All you really need is a place to start. Just one drawer, one shelf, one little decision: I'm going to deal with this today. And if today all you did was think about it, that counts too. Sometimes just seeing the clutter clearly is already half the battle. Every time you let go of something that no longer fits your life, you're making progress. It doesn't have to be fast, it just has to be yours. And if you're wondering, okay, what now? What's one easy thing I can actually do next? That's exactly where we're going in the next video. It's simple, it's practical, and it might be just the momentum you need. When you're ready, I'll meet you there.